It was actually kind of nice though, and it for free. Well, I spent $3 on it because the ads were annoying, and you spend $3 and it removes the ads. This was basically like a time, so $3. Nice. But I'd like to do Ring Fit, but the problem is that we have too many things hooked up to our TV, and the ottoman's in the way. But if I had a second dock downstairs, I could just
And going from standing up to laying down and then doing the jogging upstairs is probably going to be annoying.
Yeah, it's more annoying. Whereas if I did it in the basement, well, again, the basement, we just don't have a couch in front of the TV. We still haven't bought a couch for the basement, so there's just empty room down there to do it. So I think that'll be what the dock will be / me grabbing it and bringing it up if I want to stream, switch stuff to my TV. Matt, you back?
Yeah, the connection still seems not great, so I'll just do a local recording too.
Okay.
Let me just do that.
Matt, you downloaded you downloaded too many illegal things.
Maybe.
Whatever. Too many HBO television shows. Now they're throttling your connection.
Probably it's just Charter gets shitty sometimes for no reason.
It's I'll tell you why, Matt. It's because you live in an apartment.
Yeah.
And it's a holiday evening, so everyone's at home watching a streaming movie.
Well,
in your area.
With Upload specifically, at least like last year when everybody started doing Zoom meetings, it was just like residential internet's just not built for uploads.
Oh my god, yeah. Dude, fucking my upload speed is so shoddy.
Remember when the weird thing about my internet service provider is that the upload, like,
Didn't
whenever
you tell me
goes
you just
wrong,
called in and were like, make my upload better, and then they did? Somebody told me that they did that.
I did that.
Okay, it was you. I was like, why is my upload shit? And they're like, I don't know.
But so my ISP will, when shit goes wrong and shit breaks and like everyone in my area has issues, they have like 400 megabit per second downloads and like 0.05 upload. So like we can stream Netflix, and I feel like this is a way that Mediacom has designed their infrastructure so that we can still download Netflix. We can still do anything that requires downloading just fine while their system's all fucked up. But then once everyone started doing Zoom meetings and like other things that require upload, like they don't get away with their fuck ups near as often now.
I didn't even kind
of funny.
I didn't even know this, but I love Charter as an internet provider. Like, the fact that I'm getting 126 down is like, I just pay for their fast, and then maybe I'd say 2 years ago it was about 60, is they just keep upgrading the infrastructure and they're not charging me more because I have the max whatever plan is. So it's just nice. Like it's getting better.
Mediacom creates new plans.
Yeah, they aren't doing that for Charter.
Mediacom creates new plans, but lets you keep paying for your old one without telling you.
Maybe that's what's going on. And so I just have my old internet for $65 or whatever it is a month.
You're old and busted. Old and
That's
busted.
pretty good though. I get 10 up, but the up is spotty.
Yeah, I think I must have the same plan as you.
I get 250 down and I think 35 up or some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
25 down, 5 up for $10 a month.
That's actually not that bad.
Well, yeah, I was about to say it's
that
much.
Comcast Internet Essentials, because free or reduced lunch program. It was originally 5 down, 1 up, but they kept upgrading it.
5 down, 1 up is like unusable in this day.
My dad still has 768K down.
Oh my god!
And
how?
Like the up, I don't even know.
My parents are like the same way. Like they're like, well, we don't use the internet that much, and I'm like, well, it's because it's so fucking slow.
Yeah, my parents.
You're like, you're not if you could, like, and now they have like much faster DSL. It's not even that fast, because they live out in the middle of fucking nowhere, but it's still like, I think they get 5 or 6 down, which is enough to stream Netflix at the very least. But like, my mom is always on the internet now, like on fucking Facebook and shit. So
on Newsmax,
like on Parlor. Oh my god.
Yeah.
My parents have a smart TV, and they just realized that you get a bunch of free TV if you hook it up to the Wi-Fi.
Yep.
So
I have that too.
So they were scrolling through the channels that they now have available, and I saw Newsmax flash by, and I was like, "Oh God, I hope you don't discover that."
Yeah.
It's like if you thought Fox News was holding back too much, have we got a channel for you?
Well, Fox News is fair and balanced.
So who runs Newsmax? OAN?
No. So
it's like
Newsmax.
OAN.
Newsmax is some like far right guy, like CEO, super rich guy's like money pit. He hates Fox News because it's not far right enough. So he just owns a network that will be as far right as he wants it to be, and that's it. It makes no money. Like, there's no way anyone who wants to advertise on that network has enough money to fund how much it costs to run that network. That guy just dumps money into it because he has enough money to fund an entire streaming platform, news channel, and that's what he wants to watch.
Isn't capitalism great?
All right.
I'm ready to go.
Right. This is John talking at his normal volume, and then Matt, and then TJ and Spanky.
What's up, my Newsmaxes? Welcome to Newsmax.
A fuck, a shit, a hello, and howdy do.
Today's episode of Born in the 80s podcast is sponsored in part by Newsmax.
Sponsored in full by whoever that guy is you were talking about.
I'm gonna keep talking again because I feel like my gain was fucked up.
Sure you are.
And I want to hear how it sounds. Yep. All right,
fuck.
let's try this again now with the gain adjusted. Let's see if that sounds.
Oh yeah, you're a lot quieter now.
That's much better.
I'm gonna have to adjust you on my end.
All right, boosting the gain just a little bit here.
Actually, no, I'm just gonna adjust.
Let's try that.
Down.
All right, I'm gonna boost it again. Let's see how it sounds. Oh my god, your stream is really...
Is it really choppy?
All right, this is John now with the new microphone distance and setup. And let's do Matt and then everybody else.
Hey, it's your boy, Matt. Como te llamas?
Como te llamos? What the fuck? Oh, also, ow. Spanky?
All right.
Howdy, y'all.
All right, John is going again.
Oh, am I supposed to go too? I thought you were just talking to yourself.
Wow.
Hey, it's your boy.
Hi.
Yeah, it's just real impossible to get levels because of it's very choppy.
I think it sounds good.
I think it's better too. My gain was fucked up because I was playing the video game Squad, and nobody could hear me.
Now, what is a video game?
It's like World of Warcraft but better.
Oh, I know this World of Warcraft.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard of this.
Hey, everybody. This is me coming from where I'm going to do my mic.
Feet pics.
Oh, wait. TJ's doing a level now? Now I gotta, like, fucking...
No,
please don't.
Look
back.
at
All right,
his
let me
video
listen.
before you take him seriously.
God damn it.
TJ, let me hear you talk again, TJ.
Yeah, this is TJ talking for wherever I'm gonna be. Fuck.
Hi.
I really
Was I
shouldn't do
supposed
this.
to go?
No, please don't. Oh, God damn it.
Now, how is that position on your inflamed intestines? Comfortable?
It's the turning that hurts.
Okay, I can't tell if we're good. So I think that's good enough. Nobody seems super loud. My microphone is always fucked because
Oh, fuck.
I wish there was a better way to do podcasting with 4 people.
There's got to be a better way.
Well, there is.
Every way
It's called
I've
being
looked
in
up
person, and it's also called doing a 4-ender, where we each
God damn it.
record our own.
A quad
fuck
ender.
that.
I have done that. I have edited those, and they are
Perfect and flawless.
no. So, man, we used to before we start because it's a little technical, but back when I used to record with just me and Adam for a short period before we started doing Google Hangouts, we would do a double ender, and I would do like a countdown, 3, 2, 1, clap, and then at the end we would do a 3, 2, 1, clap, and the audio would be approximately 2 to 3 seconds off by the end because whatever Audacity was using to record was tied to the CPU clock speed.
Yeah.
So the bit rate.
No,
so
it's not the clock speed, but
whatever was going on, it had to do with the computer's speed. Would make the bit. I don't know what was happening, but it would make
what was happening is the sample rate was not maintaining a consistent.
Something was going
frequency.
on, making it
So
slightly slower.
Typically audio is recorded at 44,100 kilohertz, I think, or hertz, whatever.
I mean, it's very possible that Adam
44.1 kilohertz. And like, if one computer is maintaining 44.1 and one goes to like 44.9 or 44.09, and like it's imperceptible to the human ear. You would never notice that, except for when you have an hour-long piece of audio from 2 people, and one person was 0.01 kilohertz off on the sample rate, and then it'll misalign.
So I was about to say, if we were to ever do that, maybe that would be a better solution than what we do now. If the audio is that bad, I don't think the audio ends up being that bad though in the finished product. Sometimes it pisses me off when, for some reason, someone's mic just is way louder than everyone else's, and the auto the tube modeled compressor, of course, because it's simulating it.
Yeah, well, you got to get that warmth,
Doesn't do a good enough job of leveling everyone's voices.
So the best actual way to do it without additional work is to have an application that does everything that Discord, Zoom, Google Hangouts, etc. does, or Google Meet, or whatever it is now.
Yeah.
But instead of muxing the audio, it just gives you a I would like to record this person's audio. I would like to record this person's audio, and it just starts a record to a new file for each person, and then at the end, you can put those, because at that point, since your computer is encoding all 4 of these files at the same time, they will match up. It's not a difference between 2 different computers encoding them.
Yeah, but those things are expensive, is the thing.
Well, also, I think part of the reason we were having trouble was...
No, it's not that... I mean, software can do it. It's just that this software is only useful for podcasters.
I've heard of the Opal for doing that, which is basically the professional solution, I guess.
I'm sure there is, but
it's kind of like what radio, like whenever NPR has one of their partner stations with somebody being interviewed in a different location, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that is a lot more high tech than what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is, and I've written this before. I've written a program that does this before. And what it does is basically the difference between Opal or whatever the professional solution is.
It's called
is that is a thing, that is a dedicated machine that coordinates all these different audios. In my example, it's software on one person's computer. So the audio can be fucked up by being encoded weirdly, but all of them will be the exact same level of fucked up. So they will match up when you throw them all together in an Audition or Audacity or whatever audio editing program you use.
Nobody uses Audacity.
I use Audacity.
Not to do multi-tracks though. That'd be a fucking pain.
It's actually very easy to do multi-tracks in Audacity.
No.
You just don't know how to use any of the tools besides the select then, because making new tracks and dragging them and everything is pretty easy. Like, I mean, unless you're doing like fine fading and all that kind of shit, it's very easy.
Oh man, Adobe Audition is the fucking beast. It's the best.
Adobe Audition is good because if you've ever bought it before in the past, there's no reason for you to pay Adobe any more money to get the newer versions, because what the fuck have they done for audio editing in the past 30 years of that program?
I have a version.
The only thing is just like increasing the sample rates that you can work with and stuff.
I have
But
a copy of Adobe Audition that I've had since college on a disc.
What's great though, Matt, is that you can export raw waves, and then you can use
get like a separate encoder or something.
Yeah, get like a free open source encoder program to just drop that wave. Like, you know, it'll be a giant file. It'll be like 7 gig file, but you just drop that into a free encoder application and get your MP3 or whatever, and you can have it at whatever sample rate or whatever you want without paying Adobe more money.
Yeah,
I just have the subscription plan because I'm a chump.
Well, it's a good deal though if you actually use it.
Yeah, I mean, I use several of the programs, so
yeah,
that's how I used to be. I'm no longer that way though.
Huh?
Okay.
Because we're talking about Adobe, and
yeah, everybody loves an Adobe podcast.
Everybody loves Adobe. All right.
Everybody loves Ray Doby.
Welcome to Born in the 80s, episode 423. I am your host, John _Danger. I am joined by my co-hosts.
Matt _Safety.
TJ May.
Spanky Newsmax works.
Jesus, God damn it.
Welcome to our right-wing podcast.
Make sure you tag Newsmax when you post this one.
Make sure that
we get some extra.
Make sure this podcast title is going to be Gina Carano did nothing wrong.
Oh, man.
So Gina Carano was canceled by the radical leftists.
All right, guys. No, I'm going to go on Newsmax.com. Let's see what's going on right now.
Oh God.
Okay.
Really?
First thing, report: GOP plans to show Biden soft on China to win midterms to 2024.
I don't think listen, I'm not China. I don't know what would affect me if I were China. But seeing Biden soft, like, that's a little bit upsetting, but I don't know if it would change my trade policy. Seeing Biden hard, that would change my trade policy. I think the GOP needs to fluff up their strategy.
All right, so I think what they're saying is Republicans view this being tough on China and depicting President Joe Biden as soft on the topic is a winning election strategy.
You know what I think?
I also think that Joe Biden is definitely not soft on China, based on, I guess, I get a recent call.
Well, so one thing that I have noticed is that
Republicans suddenly care about the deficit again.
So I listen to a podcast called As It Happens. It is a podcast produced by the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. And the reason I listen to this is because it's like NPR, except for the stories are about a country where the news is way less scary. But they do talk about U.S. stuff, but it's not like they don't mention like, all the terrible things. They just kind of gloss over it. So I basically absorb my U.S. news through Canadian public broadcasting. And when I listened to it the other day, and they're like interviewing some not State Department guy, but basically like a person, like some think tank or whatever that goes over trade policy and stuff. And they were asked, like, what is the difference between the Trump presidency and the Biden presidency on China policy? And he said nothing. Yeah. Like, it's literally the exact same thing. He has implemented zero differences. So, like, it's the exact same policy. It's just a less crazy person leading that policy now, and that's it.
So it seems like Newsmax actually isn't further right than Fox News. It is trying to be direct Fox News competitor.
No. So it really depends on,
because like I'm looking at their website and it is mostly normal news stories.
So yeah, that's what news app, which like for Android. My app, I can hear you.
Jesus Christ.
I love that our joke is always that we can't ever talk to Matt because he'll join.
So it looks like our podcast is ended.
All right,
before
we're back.
It started. Are we back?
Yeah.
I'm on Twitch and we all seem to be silent, but
yeah,
it is like
just
a
wait for
40-second
the delay. Yeah. We didn't lose the stream though.
We are back on Twitch. So all right. So yeah, that was an audio. Matt's Russian audio program.
No,
I'm assuming it's from Russia.
It's German. It's Ableton.
Broke.
It didn't even give me an error. It literally just closed, and
it was like, you know what? You're not using me right now. I'm done.
I've never seen that happen before with this.
So I'm on Newsmax's website.
I was about to say they have a lot of op-eds from Republican figures.
Sure, they do. Here's what I want to point out. On their website, on their homepage, they have a Newsmax TV Live like little sidebar where it's got their streaming news channel. Mm-hmm. I've unmuted it. It is currently showing a documentary about the Nazi Party.
Okay.
And it's only saying National Socialists. It is not saying Nazi.
Jesus.
That's so crazy, man.
So what I was going to say was, it really depends on which subsection of Newsmax you're looking at. I've been on my news app before and was reading celebrity news or whatever because I like trash reporting. I like TMZ and shit. And then I saw
see all the pictures of Britney Spears in the tabloids.
Definitely not. But I basically like trash reporting when it's almost like a peek behind the curtain of do people get paid for this? Because I read one the other day that was someone sold someone's $16 million house in somewhere, and I'm like, this is news? I read junk like that. And I've clicked on a Newsmax link before. And I don't know if it was always this way, but it definitely is now. And I'd have to look. But I thought it was Newsweek, which is another I hesitate to say reputable, but they have news stories in there that aren't conspiracy theories. And I've read it, and at the end I was like, these are all terrible takes. And then I noticed that it was Newsmax. So I think the print, even though it's online, the written journalism on Newsmax is the same as you'd find on foxnews.com.
I was about to say it's like trying to be like AP. It's let's just be basic, and then let's let our pundits go on the television show and say this insane shit. And also, we only have op-eds from Republicans. Like Matt Gaetz gets to write a fucking op-ed for us.
Yeah. So the opinions that I see here, there's Alan Dershowitz, Newt Gingrich. These are people that are terrible and bad, but
they probably know how to write it.
They appear on other more
standard Republican talking heads.
Yeah, exactly. That's what Newsmax is. It's not now you want insane shit. That's One America News. OAN.
I would argue that the television is just as insane between Newsmax. Because I mean, like One American
I've
News.
never watched Newmax, but I'm going to go to One America News' website and let's see what that looks like.
It's just be afraid, buy guns.
I can't wait to look at what this is. Let's see here. President Trump thanks defense team GOP lawmakers following acquittal and impeachment trial.
I only watch NRA TV.
Ooh, I think NRA TV is on the same like Zumo smart TV channels that are on a smart TV. I think I'm not positive. I might be thinking of something else.
Mm-hmm. We've got Biden's assault on Second Amendment sparks fears of civil war.
I'm going.
Somehow I hadn't heard about that happening.
Otherwise, it also looks to try and be more basic news right here. You're right. It's like the websites are like, this is where we put the articles, and then you go to the TV show, and it's insanity.
Yes, and that's that. So one of my favorite TV show moments from One American News Network was, if you remember, there was an Alabama Senate race between Roy Moore and Doug Jones. Mm-hmm. Roy Moore was a pedophile, and for about 2 seconds a week before the election, the Republican Party's like, I don't think we should promote Roy Moore. And then immediately after those 2 seconds, like, better than a Democrat, better a pedophile than a Democrat, which is weird considering the whole like thing, QAnon Democrats are pedophiles. I guess that they think maybe a Republican pedophile is better than a Democrat pedophile.
I heard Roy Moore was secretly Antifa, so.
You know what I love about the OAN newsroom or OAN news here is that if you go on their news website and look at top news, every article is written by OAN newsroom, which means they don't have bylines for anything, which means that whoever's writing these doesn't have to have their name put up to. So like, this isn't journalism because there isn't a person writing this.
No, it's a content.
It is 100% just fucking content. Like, that's the thing. Like, I'm going to tell you this, anyone, like, no matter what your fucking, your stances are, if you're reading an article that doesn't have a person's name as the person who wrote it, it's worthless. Because if someone's not putting their name to it, then how can you possibly think of that as anything that could be real? Like that's the whole point of being a reporter, is that you get things published. When it's a thing just from a newsroom, or like, it's like AP is the same way. Like Associated Press stuff, like they'll have real articles, but then they'll just have like, oh, it's just like a fucking press release. You know what I mean? It's like no facts, nothing. Like, it's just that. Like, if you want an actual like reported piece, like it has to have a name on it, or else who did the reporting?
Robots.
Comcast. This is I'm reading one of the things on their homepage here. Comcast and Charter Spectrum customers. OAN has tried for years to get on Comcast and Charter Spectrum TV. You are stuck paying for liberal mainstream media news. Yet OAN asks for less than a fifth of the rate of MSNBC. It's time to tell Comcast and Charter Spectrum that you want OAN added to your channel lineup. Call today. And I wonder if this news channel gets 1/5 of the viewers as MSNBC. It's like me saying, like, all I want is half of what they pay Comedy Central, and it's like, yeah, but Comedy Central has people watching it. Mm-hmm. If I had a channel, people wouldn't watch it.
Mm-hmm. So they are on DirecTV currently, it looks like, as well as Verizon, Fios, AT&T as well. But they're not on, as you said, Comcast or Charter.
Anyway, one thing that I wanted to like note about the One American News website is that at the top they have a navigation menu, pretty common amongst websites. The main links are top news, world, business, technology, sports, entertainment, video, and shop. When you hover over these, you expect to see further delineations. I was hoping to go to top news and have a drop down where I could select opinion. That didn't happen. The only two with a drop down are video, which I understand because they have different shows on their programming, so that like each show has it. Makes sense. And then the other one is business, and the two options are economy and money. What the fuck is the difference between those two that is so stark that you have made it the only other navigation link with drop down?
I really do. I do appreciate like one American News Network is just insanity. Like just the stuff that they say. In June 2020, One American News claimed without evidence. I love Wikipedia, just like being fucking harsh. That the elderly protester who had been seriously injured by police was, quote, attempting to capture the radio communication signature of Buffalo police officers and was linked to Antifa.
Oh, that was the old guy that got pushed down and got brain damage?
OAN's Kristen Ruiz provided zero evidence for these claims, referring only to the Conservative Treehouse, an anonymously written right-wing blog. They're literally just like, this blog said it.
Oh,
this is real.
Fucking.
And this is the thing. This is why they don't put a name on these articles, because they're literally just pulling shit off of blogs and saying this is real. It's just insane.
Well, yeah, it's the same as Trump's whole many people tell me this. Oh, really? Who? Which people? What? Name them. As soon as you can, just say, "Oh, I heard this from somebody else." Then that gives
One
it
American
the fake
News
air of
website, by the way. One American News' website, by the way, is a WordPress blog, and they don't even have the plugin that makes sure all of their images use HTTPS links, which is like the plugin everyone fucking has on WordPress. So like, their website is not good. It's bad.
That's shocking.
Anyway,
I'm shocked.
It's just hilarious. Like, it's so bad. Like it. I mean, YouTube demonetized their channel at some point before or after the election, basically, because they were posting all these fake election fraud claims. Like, it's just, I don't know, man. Huh? Isn't it? You know what I got to say about this? I'm really glad we have a president
now. The internet's
now.
wonderful, and it's going to bring us all together into a tech utopia.
What I'm saying is I'm really glad that we have a president now that I don't have to think about.
Yeah.
It's just like,
I'm gonna get
really
nice
care.
and complacent, and then
it's just like, well, yeah, that's the thing. Now as a diehard ultra liberal, now it's just like, I just need like a couple months here to calm down and not think about stuff, and then I can start getting out. Just please get us our checks for $1,400 and let's get this done.
Yeah,
the fucking impeachment's over.
Give me my Biden phone.
The CEO and basically the guy who wanted the channel to exist, so he made it, of Newsmax, Christopher Ruddy, is someone who former president, someone describes as a friend. Without looking up which president this is, would any of you like to guess which former president describes CEO of Newsmax, Christopher Ruddy, as a friend?
It's probably Trump, right?
Okay, Matt says Trump.
I'm going to say
this former president says Christopher Ruddy is a friend of mine.
I'm going to say George W. Bush.
Okay, what's your guess, TJ?
Billiam Clinton.
Yeah,
Bill Clinton is the correct answer. Don't you fucking love the Democrats?
Yeah,
I can't believe I got that right. I was asleep.
I was about to say the Bill Clinton, the Democrats of the 90s were not too indistinguishable of the center-right Republicans that exist, like Mitt Romney right now, which is funny.
Yeah,
God, fucking Bill Clinton, fucking
super predators.
They wax their wallets and lube their dicks. That's all they do.
That's why I'm here to start the Patriot Party.
I don't have a wallet anymore. I only use cards and online payments.
Yeah.
I only use my Apple Watch, to pay.
I do have Apple Pay, but I also I've never been someone who would put all my eggs in the basket, though. So like,
if I had my wallet, I would show the front of my credit card, which doesn't have the numbers on it, but it has the little like symbol now. where it's one of those credit cards that you can just tap to pay now. I don't have to.
Yeah,
Nice.
which, by the way, you wanna know what's fun about
It's
that?
fucking awesome. Like
You
just
wanna know
go
what's
up
fun about?
and
You
it's like
wanna know
hit-
what's
hit
fun
it
about that
and-
technology, John?
It
What?
was in Europe for like
technology-
decades.
Yeah, that technology was considered breaking or cutting edge in Europe in 1995.
Yeah.
And it has been a staple of European credit cards since the early 2000s. And the reason why we never got it here is because there were competing people, basically MasterCard, Discover, Visa, trying to own the patent for it. So, like, to try and make it so that if MasterCard implemented this, they would have to pay money to Discover to implement that feature. Even though it's standardized, they wanted to, like, have basically capitalism.
No, Spanky, but capitalism breeds innovation.
It does,
And it brings us
yeah.
new technologies, right? Isn't that what's supposed to happen?
Yes.
I remember when I went to London for
Capitalism's
the theater trip, and I think it was like 2011 or something. Like most of the stores I would go to, they would be like, "Oh, it's one of those cards that you have to swipe." Oh yeah, I think we could still do that. Like,
Yeah.
even-
it was like
even
I handed
chip
them a
readers.
checkbook or something.
Let me dust the swiper off.
It's literally the episode of Futurama where Fry goes to check his savings account, which had like 2 cents in it or whatever,
Yeah.
and he hands them
Yeah.
the ATM card, and they like have to bring out the thing and blow the dust off of it.
Magnetic. They're like, oh, you've got one of those magnetic strip cards. You want your credit card to be stolen. Got it. That's what you want with one of those, because like the card skimmers are so easy.
Well,
I
and not
think
only that, Samsung puts them in the phones.
Yeah.
Samsung has this thing they call a feature, which is that you can just run your magnetic stripe card behind your phone, and it'll put it in your Samsung wallet. Which is like, cool. Now I can just hold my Samsung phone near any magnetic stripe reader, and it'll just like blast that magnetic signal to the strip reader without even being like swiped. It just blasts that signal strong enough that it communicates with the swipe mechanism, and it does it. And like, that's such a good feature. It's like, no, it's not. That means anyone with a Samsung phone can get your fucking credit card.
I mean, that does make it a good feature for certain people.
Yes, it does.
No, I love the little tap pay, and I like almost thought about buying a new Fitbit, the new Fitbit smartwatch that they made, because that has built-in like the tap pay with Google Pay, which is kind of awesome. I'd love to be.
I basically use the Apple's Apple Pay. And
same thing.
It's great because and I've done this before. I've also done it at a liquor store, which shouldn't have worked because they should have ID'd me. But I've like went to the store and forgot my wallet, and I was like, "Fuck, I don't have my wallet." I was like, "Hey, do you guys take Apple Pay?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I went into a liquor store once, and I was like, "Shit, I don't have my wallet. You guys take Apple Pay?" And they're like, "Yeah, man, we take Apple Pay." And then I got beer, and I went, boop, like, you have your ID? I'm like, I told you, I don't have my wallet, man. and like, this is like the one that's next to my house, and I've gone there for years, so like this person definitely like knows I've bought. But because of COVID, I was wearing a face mask, and I'm like, I'm the guy that comes in and always buys 2 cases of this exact beer.
Yeah.
It's me. It's the same guy who's done it every week or every 2 weeks for a year and a half.
I love that the technology that we have is beautiful and allows us to not have our phones skimmed anymore. And now we get to worry about the next upgrade, which will be people putting in boxes that are stealing the RFID signals that are going wirelessly. I'm assuming, right? That's going to be the next thing.
So that can't exactly happen. But
this wallet I bought says that it has RFID blocking.
so what I like is So RFID, what is most at risk is actually not credit card. It's access into buildings, because a lot of like building key cards are junky ass, like completely unprotected, just numbers or like all it is numbers. So like once radio frequency goes through them, it just shits out numbers, and that's all it does. There's nothing to it besides that. So like what'll happen is if this person is an employee of X company, now that person can get into that building and steal shit, and that's way more lucrative than trying to like keep on scanning people, like trying to RF scan people's wallets or whatever. But what I love about that is that it reminds me of router like 5G blockers, because they make these Faraday cage things to sell to weirdos who are like scared of 5G, and they all cost like $300. But it's a Faraday cage that you put your router in.
Can you explain what a Faraday cage is, just for someone?
A Faraday cage. So if you've ever looked at your microwave before,
a Faraday cage is where they keep Michael Faraday.
Yes,
he's been in that cage for years.
Faraday cage is.
Sorry.
If you've ever looked at your microwave,
yes.
The window on your microwave, you notice that it's got like
the grid,
dots, right? Well, so if a metal basically has dots in it, you can see through it. But if depending on like the type of electromagnetic waves going, it can't actually get through. It'll like bounce around. So microwaves use that to allow you to look at your food while it's cooking. Faraday cages are used around electrical equipment. Not really so much anymore because it's a gigantic fucking cage around whatever you're using. But if you've ever been to like a science museum, a lot of them have a Tesla coil set up, and then gloves that basically act as a Faraday cage, where you can like put your hand in and basically touch the Tesla coil and let it arc through the gloves. And using that same mechanism. So it blocks electromagnetic waves is what it does. Now a router, what it does is it sends electromagnetic waves
into your brain, and it makes the frogs gay.
Yeah, right? Is it sends that wirelessly to your devices so that they can connect to the internet. So by putting it in a Faraday cage, you have made it not work. And like all the reviews are like, the thing about wired is, and people don't know this, and I don't know, but you can buy a dumb router, and they're pretty cheap, and they don't do wireless. They don't even do routing really. I mean, a switch is what they are.
Well, I was about to say, I think you could even just a network switch, like you just hook that up to your
you get a network switch for like $20 probably for a 4-port, which gives you 3 Ethernet outs and 1 in from your modem. And of course they make modems that don't do wireless. My modem doesn't do wireless.
Mine doesn't do wireless either.
The ones that the internet companies send you to use,
they typically do have wireless built in.
I don't use the one my ISP.
No, I have my own router or my own.
It was a piece of fucking garbage. The one they sent me.
Correct. Actually, they sent a much nicer one than the one that I used to have, but I upgraded and bought a newer.
I spent, I think, like $100 a few years ago on like a DOCSIS 6 cable modem, and like the one they sent me was like a DOCSIS 2, and I'm like, nope, not fucking doing that.
Yeah.
Anyway, but what they do is they sell these Faraday cages to put your router in, to keep the waves from turning you into COVID or whatever they're
giving you COVID.
And that's what I think of whenever I think of whatever made me think of that.
So like,
so far from the top
and that reminds me of something else though too. So like that's like one of those products that is for a very specific person who wants a very specific thing. So let's say if you were in working in like a science lab and you had I don't know, some sort of detector for something where you needed to be able to detect electromagnetic rays or something or beams, and you had to hook your computer up in there. You want to put the Faraday cage over the computer or over whatever you need so that there's no like I don't know. This is a very specific use case I'm making up, but like, there could be like one person who probably could use this.
And then all these inside of audio stuff sometimes to block like radio signals from interfering.
Yeah, exactly.
Stuff.
Like you want something to block signals. Like I could definitely see that. Or if you were someone who was like, I want to be able to connect my computer up here to my. I think what it's mostly for is for fucking Dumbo people that don't realize that you can buy your own modem and like network switch if they don't want to have wireless in their house, because they're one of those people that think like wireless internet is like killing you. And so they're like, all right, well, we can put this over the box I got from my cable company and run a wire out of it, and I don't have to worry about Wi-Fi signals in my house, other than the fact that your neighbors probably have them and are bombarding you with them anyway.
Other than the fact that we're surrounded by them constantly.
Yeah. So that reminds me of another insanely specific item that exists that is used by professionals, but you see people who are dumb wanting to purchase. I mean, and I think I've linked this on the Discord, but you guys have heard of the suicide cable, correct?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
The suicide cable is a male to male mains power cable that exists, and it is called a suicide cable because you will die if you use it and are not like a person. So the reason why I
don't know that you would die anymore. You definitely would on like in an old house.
Yeah,
sure. So at the very not even like die touching it, but like putting anything near that, arcing, starting a fire, like anything that can happen, because you're basically taking the power grid inside your house and saying, here's 2 pieces of metal and a ground that have it just zapping there. They could touch anything. and it's just insane. And so this happens every year in the winter, I found out. And you can look up like suicide cable on Google and find like every Lowe's, every Home Depot has like a pic, like somebody printed out like a thing showing a picture of a cable that with 2 male ends saying, this is a suicide cable. We do not sell these, nor should you ever use a cable like this, because people this time of year or when it gets cold out typically have where there's power outages, when there's ice storms and things, is they got a generator and they want to hook the generator up to their house by hooking a male cable in their generator up to the power outlet in their house, and then backfeeding power into their house through that. And that is a legitimate. That is one of the actual reasons why a cable like that might exist and an electrician might have it, but they also don't use them ever because there's better ways to do it than that, and also. It's insanity. I just love the idea that you could like just some dumb guy being like, can I get this cable? And like not knowing, just like the people with the Faraday cage, not knowing actually the power that they're wielding with that cable. And
the power
and thinking,
of the dark side.
Yeah, the power of the getting my house burnt down side is what that is. So I love the suicide cable. As much as I love the Faraday cage that you can buy on Amazon. Oh my God. And this takes me down another fucking rabbit hole on YouTube that I went on. But I was on a channel, I don't remember the name of the channel, but it was cool. It was just like reviewing these products that they bought on Amazon, calling them negative ion products. So they're like a product that is like meant to like give your body negative ions, and it's like there's one that's like a lanyard card, that you put like on your ID badge. You're supposed to wear that, or a wristband, or an eye mask, or something that you wear when you're sleeping, and it's got negative ions. And he put his healthometer up to it, and the numbers started going up. Can you guys guess what the healthometer, the sticker he had over the device that he was calling his healthometer, was?
A metal detector?
No, not a metal detector, but it was detecting something else. Not an EMF reader. Something far more sinister.
A Geiger counter?
So these negative ion devices basically just have powdered thorium in them, and they're emitting
beta.
Yes, correct. Yeah. So the radiation that they're emitting.
Yeah, I'm an alpha. I would not ever buy that bracelet.
So I am not by any means a radiation expert. I did have to take courses on radioactive chemistry and things for my previous job when I worked as a chemist, and all the different types of radiation and how dangerous and safe they are. Like this guy says in his video, these devices are radioactive to the point where they're at levels that aren't, I guess, dangerous.
It's like how a banana gives off extremely minimum amounts of radiation.
This is like hundreds of times of what a banana is. I mean, like, this is like, well, if you're holding this for what you're supposed to be wearing this all day for like X amount of years, is that bad? And it was emitting beta radiation. And again, like when you think about radiation, that like holding radioactive items, like holding uranium, that it's not really bad because it can't get in your body. Because all certain types of radiation, not gamma radiation, gamma radiation could just zap through you, and you don't want that.
No, gamma radiation is how Bruce Banner turns into the Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you could try that, but you might also just lose all of your hair and die. But the beta, I believe beta particles are heavier and much more dangerous, but they also have to go in through an orifice, basically.
But beta particles
will stop it, basically.
Beta particles are electrons emitted from the nucleus of basically separated from a neutron of a nucleus.
So anyway, but like alpha particles and beta particles, they are not dangerous inherently, and that's what he talked about, like how he talked about the Chernobyl like miniseries and kind of talking about how that was misleading with the way the radiation works and hurting people and things, like showing somebody was holding a radioactive piece in his gloved hand and getting terrible radioactive poisoning is not something that would happen. The reason why people get like sunburns when they're exposed to that is because it's literally like intense sunburn is radiation from the sun burning you. Mm-hmm. Whereas like looking at the fucking open nuclear reactor source is going to do that to your face very quickly rather than sitting out for hours underneath the sun. But the dangerous point about these is these just have powdered thorium in them. Powder, if you were to ingest that, breathe it in, would be incredibly dangerous, giving you stomach, lung cancer, all sorts of terrible things, because your insides don't have the protective skin that your outsides have that stop us from...
Mine do.
Maybe. If you're special. But I just thought it was funny that it was like these, and he actually got them shut down because he sent a letter to the Atomic Energy Council saying, because if you're in the U.S., like if you have a product that is radioactive, you have to have it registered with the Energy Commission, and so all of these products were not registered to be radioactive because there's lots of things that are radioactive. You fucking open up your
smoke detector,
like that's got radioactive elements in it as well. Like,
yeah, you can make a whole breeder reactor out of it and potentially endanger your whole neighborhood.
That's a different YouTube hole that you can go down if you want to go down that. But yeah, I've been getting way into science lately, guys.
Lately,
even more
I've been
so.
getting way into a certain television show.
What's that?
I've been watching The Simpsons.
Oh God,
never heard
you
of
start talking about The Simpsons, I have to pee really badly.
Okay.
I'm going to get up and pee now, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
You can continue talking.
And everybody listening can just imagine John peeing.
As opposed to when Matt pees, we could actually hear him.
That hasn't happened for a while.
Pee. You can hear Matt drop the seat on his toilet.
Spanky, we're supposed to make him feel there's a word I can't think of.
Self-conscious.
Embarrassed.
Yes, that's the word.
No, I don't do that anymore. I don't have any shame.
Yeah. No, actually, Matt's background is like a virtual background. He's on the toilet right now.
Shitting right.
having like diarrhea shits because I'm gonna do a little food thing since we're talking about shitting.
Yeah, shitting.
Oh, nice.
Specifically, I'm gonna talk about Taco Bell.
Oh yeah, I know what you're going to talk about. I know what you're going to talk about.
Maybe
Taco Bell.
So I think we actually talked about this before, but it's a product that I never got when it first came. I'm talking about the nacho fries.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
That's not what I thought you were going to talk about.
Yeah, no, this is a product that I never got when it first came out, because the first time it came out, they also had something else, Reaper fries.
Oh yeah, the Reaper fries, yeah.
And like they had them both. And the Reaper stuff is the, as I'm saying this, I feel like I told this story the last time the podcast happened.
No,
it's fine. Go ahead.
So, well, I mean, then, someone might be binging the entirety of the show, and two of the same story in 2 episodes in a row. But so I never had the nacho fries the first time they came out. I had the Reaper fries, and they were fucking good. I remember liking them mostly because they were the only thing at Taco Bell that actually was spicy. Like, it was not Carolina Reaper spicy, but it was actually spicy. And so I had, and that's why the National Socialist Party is the correct ideology.
Exactly.
Correct.
Isn't that right, John?
The podcast is taking a turn.
Socialism is the way forward.
Oh,
You
controversial.
told me to talk about Simpsons, John. John is back for the listeners who did not get to see John come back, and I brought up the National Socialist Party when John put his headphones on. You told me to talk about the Simpsons, but I did not. I decided to instead talk about Taco Bell. I don't remember. I think it was because we were talking about diarrhea shit.
Did you hack the menu and try a new Taco Bell item?
That's what I did.
It's not. So TJ's going to go right after me, but what I'm saying is, I had the Reaper fries when they first came out, and I never had the nacho fries. This time, only the nacho fries came back. And I was like boycotting getting them kind of a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
On the one hand, because I don't get out much because of the pandemic, and I don't like door dashing or Uber Eatsing or Grubhubbing fast food.
And you're
because
very
in my mind,
anti-ethnic food.
Yeah, exactly. But in my mind, I'm like, if I really want Taco Bell, I can go to the drive-thru. Like, it's not worth paying someone a tip to do that. Instead, I save my my like DoorDash stuff for things that don't have drive-thrus.
Yeah.
So I was at the pharmacy, and I went to a Taco Bell, and they had the nacho fries, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. They're not coming back with the Reaper stuff as much as I want it. I might as well try these nacho fries. Mm-hmm. And it turns out they're fucking good. And I wish I had been eating them more often. Mm-hmm. Because they're just fries with that like Taco Bell Mexican spice completely blasted all over them. And that's it. And they're fucking good.
Cheese, and they're great.
Yep. But what I do wish they would do is I've had the Reaper fries, but I specifically thought they had a Reaper fry burrito. And I don't know if they have a nacho fry burrito right now, but they do have the nacho fry.
They don't right now, but I missed their buffalo chicken nacho fry burrito.
Oh,
that was good.
Oh, yeah, I had. That was good. I missed the quesaritos. Quesaritos.
Quesaritos.
Yeah,
hold on.
I have had that.
Matt?
Yes.
Quesaritos are still available through the mobile app only.
Some secret menu bullshit.
Yes, but I do it all the time.
Nice.
But as John was as I was gonna say when Spanky brought it up, and as John was about to bring it, Taco Bell has a make your own $5 cravings box.
Oh,
whoa! That's my favorite thing.
Hang on, let me pull up the app, and obviously, your Taco Bell may vary because they may not all be $5, but usually in the $5 range. So pull up the Taco Bell app. I hope it doesn't bing at me.
I bought the, just before you get into yours, I want to interrupt TJ because that's a meme.
Of course.
I bought the, just while you're loading up your app here, I bought the Bacon Club Chalupa meal recently.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's very good. I was surprised at how good it was. It kind of has it's like a chicken bacon ranch taco because it kind of has like a ranchy sauce. And the bacon was actually good. It wasn't like, I was expecting to be like the hard, like fake bacon bits crumble. It was actually like chewy bacon pieces. Like it was pretty good.
It's the same as their breakfast bacon. They do really good with that.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I suppose they forget they have bacon now in breakfast. So,
well, the ones that still do breakfast, because a lot of them are open late for COVID. Mm-hmm. So only about 1 in 5 Taco Bells still do breakfast. The make your own cravings box was actually originally listed as a reward available for Taco Bell app members that achieved a certain level. And I didn't do it at the time, but now it's available for everyone on the app. And I'll build one right now, even though I won't order it. So you start off by choosing your specialty, and your options right now are a Chalupa Supreme, a Cheesy Gordita Crunch, a Crunchwrap Supreme, a Black Bean Chalupa, and a Black Bean Crunchwrap Supreme.
Ooh.
Black
Bean Crunchwrap Supreme sounds really good, actually.
Not a lot that really goes my way, but that a Cheesy Gordita Crunch kind of went up my alley.
Yeah.
And then choose your starter. And this has quite the range for what would normally be menu priced, because your option for your starter is your crunchy taco, your bean burrito, and the beefy 5-layer.
Yeah, you get a beefy 5-layer on this.
boy.
That's only $2.89.
Yeah.
And then you choose your side, which is just a Cine Twist or chips and cheese. And then you choose your medium drink. And that will put you at $5.
10 cents for an upgrade to a large drink.
Exactly. 10 cents for your upgrade to a large. So if you go with a specialty and just go big on that beefy 5-layer, you can get a whole shitload for $5.10.
Somebody's going to Taco Bell this week for lunch.
Yeah. Yep.
I have my eyes set on this Crunchwrap Supreme beefy 5-layer burrito nachos box. It looks real good because I love the Crunchwrap. Beefy 5-layer.
Chalupa Supreme, man. That like.
I do love a Chalupa Supreme too.
Cheesy Gordita Crunch.
Yeah, they're all good.
The thing about chalupas is like,
I miss the gordita, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
No, gorditas were awesome. But the thing about the chalupa is that they're this like, I'm trying to think of the word, but it's like a fickle mistress, I guess, of a food where it's like sometimes you'll go there and you'll get a chalupa, and you can tell like it's been a minute since they fried the chalupa, and it's kind of like it was deep fried and then it got cold and now it's hard almost. But then sometimes you go there and you get like fresh, perfectly chewy on the inside, crunchy on the outside chalupa, and it makes all the times you were burned by the other chalupas worth it because you got the fucking one chalupa to rule them all.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? What was the thing you said? Not the gorditas. The
Crunchwrap?
Chalupa. No.
What is gordita the thing
gordita.
that John said?
Here, lizard. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
The gorditas were different because I don't think a gordita was as good as the chalupa, but they were very much more consistent. I never had like a mediocre gordita. Where I've had a few chalupas where I was like, this sucks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the chalupa, I've definitely had ones that are like over hard. They're like almost chewy. Like, but you can get a really good chalupa shell. Yeah, depends. You got.
I did have fast food today. I had a Greek gyro from Arby's, and that remains one of my favorite fast food meals. Is because it just doesn't suck. And also because it's a gyro, but it's from Arby's. It's kind of just like Arby's? A taco with. Yeah.
Arby's has had gyros for quite a bit now.
A few years now.
Yeah.
A few years.
It's basically a flatbread sandwich, like a flatbread taco sandwich because it's Arby's, but they're pretty good.
So if we're talking Arby's for a bit, I had.
Are you interrupting yourself talking about an item?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
So I had what I would call a fast food spring of death, where Arby's had they had Texas toast sourdough melts. It was they had ham and Swiss or beef and cheddar on a sourdough Texas toast melt, and they were always 2 for $4. And I had 2 of the ham and Swiss sourdough melts twice a day. So a total of 4 of those sandwiches a day, each with a Mountain Dew. One 2 for $4 with a lunch, 1 2 for $4 with a dinner. While I was working in my internship after I graduated at Edgewood, and I probably gained somewhere along the lines of 14 to 16 pounds.
Mhm.
But it was so good.
That was like one of the greatest deals of all fast food history.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jesus.
And that Arby's, Mineral Point Road, I think, is the one I kept stopping at. I could be wrong.
I don't know if that's still there.
I don't think so.
They're a dying breed, the Arby's.
They are. I mean, I miss the fact that I don't have a Hardee's close by anymore.
Do you have a Carl's Jr.?
No, I'm not West Coast. Jeez. I mean, I guess if I want to go to a Hardee's, I could just drive to could just head up to your guys' place and stop at the one right at the border.
The what? The Hardee's?
The Hardee's, yeah.
Man, I don't even think there's a Hardee's in Madison anymore.
No, it's just that one that's just south of Beloit that I used to stop at all the time.
Several in Springfield.
I like me a Hardee's, but I don't think that there's one in Madison.
Do you guys? I never know. Do you guys live in a part of the country where the fast foods that offer breakfast will offer a biscuits and gravy meal?
Only as a special thing. Like, I think KFC did a biscuits and gravy thing.
Oh, man, guys. Hardee's fucking biscuits and gravy breakfast is one of my favorite things on this planet. And I don't want you guys to, I don't want to recommend either you guys or listeners to ever travel through Missouri because it's a hellhole. But if you do, if you have the misfortune to be here in this hellhole, go to an Arby's before like noon or whenever they stop doing breakfast and get yourself some biscuits and gravy from Hardee's because it's fucking delicious.
I love biscuits and gravy. Absolutely. I mean, I'm a northern boy through and through, but biscuits and sausage gravy. Oh, it just hits you.
Mm-hmm.
It hits you right in the spot.
Junior Gamer in the chat just mentioned Mr. Beast Burger. And I don't know what this is, but they look fucking delicious and sloppy.
So regardless, hi Robbie. I'm not on the chat right now, so I didn't even see it. But yeah, that is my former coworker over at Noodles and Company. He is still at Noodles and Company.
So there is a Hardee's in Madison. The one I was thinking of in Middleton that I used to live near is closed now. So
okay,
rip in peace. Rip to a real one.
John, have you ever gone to a Hardee's / Red Burrito and had some of the Mexican offerings?
I have never been.
The fuck is Red Burrito?
So Hardee's / Carl's Jr. also owns a chain of Mexican restaurants, and some of them are tacked on with a Hardee's. And if you actually go to West Coast, it's Carl's Jr. / Green Burrito.
Okay.
Because of course they keep with the name differences, but it's the same stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped at one. I forget where it was, but I was driving with wife and kids, and I was getting stuff from Hardee's because I like their hot ham and cheese. But
I just love that. I just love like a fast food sandwich is just like something that I make in my microwave.
Yeah,
like a hot ham and cheese, but it's good. You know, like
it's good.
Well, does Hardee's have a cheese sauce instead of
it's like a drizzled Swiss.
Yeah. Ooh, man, I haven't had one of those in a long time.
Yeah. You used to be able to get the smaller ones for just $1, but like now they're like $2.80, and then they have the big version which only has like 2 more slices of ham for like $4.
I tell you though, I'm thinking of that Arby's 5 for $5, like still
5 for $5. What?
Or 5 for $5? Yeah, remember the Arby's 5 for $5 deal?
No, I was talking about 2 for $4s, but
I
was doing 2 for
remember
$4.
that? This was back when I was in college. I think this predate. I thought you were talking about the 5 for $5 deal.
Was that roast beef and cheddar 5 for $5 or what?
So 5 for $5 was Arby's deal where it was 5 for $5.99, but they called it 5 for $5. And it was a small drink, I think a small fry, or like small fry,
curly fries,
small curly fry, and the other options were, I think it was a small roast beef sandwich, a beef and cheddar, or a hot ham and cheese, were the options. And so you could legit get like 3 small roast beef sandwiches or beef and cheddars, fries and a drink for $6. Like it was.
I think I've done that. Yeah, I think I've done that a few times.
I don't have that anymore.
You can get 5 classic roast beef sandwiches for $10 at Arby's if you want to eat 5 sandwiches.
I kind of want to eat 5 sandwiches sometimes.
Wendy's still has their 4 for $4 going on at most of their stores.
Yeah, that's
which is all right when they got their junior bacon cheeseburger.
This is when you know that politics has gone right. Is that now that we can just talk about fast food?
It's no longer like existential dread about the world.
No longer the country is actively falling apart. It's just like
just the usual.
I forget who I was talking to my friends from the UK yesterday, and I told them, I was like, the people on the left in this country have been fighting desperately for 4 years to have a president that we could hate and not talk about all the time. And we finally achieved that. We don't like him, but we don't have to talk about him all the time because they're actually doing the jobs that the government, that they're elected to do, whether or not they're doing it. And they're just like, not like, oh, Department of Energy, let's get the guy who hates the Department of Energy to run it. Like, we don't have to worry about that shit anymore. We can just be passive aggressive about all the time.
Yeah.
Before we talked about this, though, we were talking about, or I was going to talk about The Simpsons, which has been my latest journey, and like basically the reason I haven't played World of Warcraft this week, but tomorrow is a holiday, so I will get my weekly shit done in World of Warcraft. I just have put it off for an entire week because previously in my life I did not consider myself a fan of The Simpsons. I'd seen maybe a couple dozen episodes, most of them Treehouse of Horror. And I always liked the Treehouse of Horror ones. And I also saw the movie in theaters and liked it. It was just like, I felt 2 things. One, that when I was born in the early 90s, which is,
born in the 90s.
Cue to kick me off the podcast, everyone.
Yep. You're not allowed to be on the show anymore.
Just gonna mute.
But by the time that I was old enough,
I'm trying to mute you, and it's not doing it.
By the time that I was old enough to watch The Simpsons, it was like on it, like, so say season 9 was in like 1999. I was like 7, so that's old enough to watch a cartoon, like understand it, not get the dirty jokes. Which is also about the same time that I started watching King of the Hill. But it had already kind of like, that was like its last good season, basically. And it was also like
I'm not
the
a cat,
first,
Bobby.
in the year 2000 was the first year of Futurama, and so I just didn't pay attention to The Simpsons, and I watched Futurama. And that's the whole story. Is that as I got older, people kept saying The Simpsons was going downhill perpetually, and Futurama was really good. So I just felt like I'm watching Futurama. That seems to be where the good Simpsons content went. And that was pretty much true. I've looked at like articles and blogs about like the past 30 seasons of The Simpsons, and it like every season has about an episode or 2 that is actually as good as, an episode from the first 10 seasons. It's just that there's 23 other episodes in the season that are dog shit. And I forget what sparked it. I think it might have been like John's wife.
John's
fault.
wife.
That's why.
Yeah, well, no, I think wasn't it like you're just enjoying and like getting into the Dankmas videos where you're just like
That was definitely part of it. But like so.
we can
when-
explain what Dankmas is. quick. I mean,
Dankmas is clips of The Simpsons turned into synthwave music, which is an idea that you might think that only appeals to fans of The Simpsons, except for the music is really fucking good. And that was like what got me interested in wanting to like. I at first I was like, I'm gonna watch the episodes that Dankmas is sampling, and that was it.
Just to like get the reference.
Yes. But then I'm pretty sure playing Phasmophobia with John's wife and Matt, because Matt plays that game now because he got banned from World of Warcraft.
And just like her constantly referencing The Simpsons.
Yes. Because like we would watch, like me and John would be playing Minecraft and we'd be watching like YouTube videos, and Lauren would also be watching the YouTube. We watched a lot of LA Beast videos.
Oh my god! Yes.
But we would watch the Dankmas videos, and Lauren would just nonstop rattle off like other Simpsons references, and I was like, okay, I've got to check out some of this. So my originally was like, I'm gonna watch seasons like 1 and 2. And season 1 is awesome because it's so janky. Like it's like a pilot of any other show, but for an entire season.
Yeah. Like the animation is rough.
Yeah, and it's not rough. Like I also watched some of the Tracy Ullman show shorts, and like that is
very
those are rough, but they're meant to be like junky rough. Like they're meant to be shorts on a sketch comedy show, not actually meant to be a show. But season 1, like the jankiness is kind of like endearing, I would say. Like I'm glad that the show didn't stay like that, but when you can look at it and be like, oh, like it's when you can look at a scene and know it's obviously season 1,
yeah,
just from how janky it is, like that's really cool. And I got to season 2, episode 1, which is Bart Gets an F. And I liked that episode so much. I was like, I'm going to watch Simpsons until I start getting bored of it. And the last episode that I watched was Homer's Phobia, which is like season 8, episode 14.
God, season 8's got a lot of bangers in it. And I saw you quoting Homer's Phobia, which has got a lot of hilarious.
Yeah.
Dialogue. We work hard, we play hard.
The TV Discord channel has been filled for the past like 3 weeks of nothing but me quoting Simpsons chronologically as I go through the series. Before I started watching it, Lauren asked me like if this was a BuzzFeed article, who do you think you'd get in a like which Simpsons are you? And my answer was, I guess, Milhouse. And my only, like, I had no frame of reference for Milhouse, except for there were other characters who beat him up or didn't like him. And that's it. That's all I knew about Milhouse. Mm-hmm. And, like, watching the show, I have realized that I am 150 million % Milhouse. Because, for one, my last name is Mills. So, like, it's close to Milhouse anyway. And there's the episode with the Lee Carvalho's putting challenge.
Oh, yep.
And the game, the Bone Storm or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Game, and Milhouse is putting in his character or his like name, and it's Thrill House.
It's Thrill How.
It's Thrill
the letters.
It's Thrill Ho. Yeah, but he's like, yeah, Thrill House. My first gamer tag was Mills Thrills, which is like already like just from that, it's crazy that it worked out in that way. And also there was like there's some quote he has that's like Bart's like, Milhouse, are you a nerd? He's like, I'm not a nerd. Nerds are smart. and it's just like, oh man, I really am a Milhouse, aren't I? So I've enjoyed my blind guess of like which Simpsons character I would be like the most. I haven't done it yet, but I've downloaded images to add emoji to our Discord server of every Simpsons character that I think deserves an emoji. And this was all at my discretion. I was just thinking of characters like this character should have an emoji. This character should have an emoji. This character should have an emoji. At the end, I had 73 characters that I'm going to make into emoji.
73 is my favorite number.
So that's cool. So we're going to have 74 custom emoji because TJ has already made a custom emoji of his icon avatar thing. And
nobody tell Disney that we're doing this, okay? Everybody, it's our secret.
Okay.
So yeah, basically, I have had a very Simpsons, and what I
you have been watching Simpsons. Like the last time we recorded an episode, you had seen a handful of episodes. This 2 weeks later, you've seen almost full 8 seasons.
Yes.
Binge this.
Yes, and honestly,
that's just crazy.
It's been very good because, like, I mean, on the one hand, like I've got video games that I wanted to play, and I absolutely have not. But I have done like, I don't know, watching The Simpsons is a very easy thing to do. And it's very easy to do while you're doing other things. Even if it's an episode I have like never seen before, there's usually not so much going on that I can't, fold laundry or whatever. So like one of the things that I did over like watching this is like I like just did some like shit around the house like every day. Just things that I've been meaning to do for like a long time. And I was like, wow, this is really good for my focus. And I now have a kitten, and it's going to be good to have a like activity to do that I don't like. So if I was playing a video game, a kitten would bug the living fuck out of me.
Yeah.
Watching a TV show, it's not that big of a deal with a kitten. So like that's good. And one of the main reasons I've been watching so much Simpsons is because I've been desperate to not watch any television or video content covering the events of the Super Bowl, because my team played in the Super Bowl this year. And man,
I don't know if I'd say they played in the Super Bowl. They
appeared in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
They did not score a touchdown for the entire game.
No,
and
I'm not super familiar with the game. Is you want to score touchdowns?
Typically, yes.
Okay.
You don't need to. It's definitely not a requirement.
Okay.
But it's one of those things where, like, you go to Taco Bell and you're like, and they're like, hey, welcome to Taco Bell. I'm stoned and I'm going to fuck up your order. And you order something and you want them to get your order right, but you don't need them to get your order right.
Yeah. Because really it's all just the same. It's the same ingredients remix. So.
Yeah. So touchdowns are a lot like Taco Bell orders where it's like you want them, but you're going to get something probably. And we did, but it was not enough. And the other team won, and it was Tom Brady, the man who notoriously has been to almost every Super Bowl in the past 2 decades with the Patriots, this time with a different team entirely. It was in the Super Bowl. So I have been desperate to just because like I'll get on my phone and like on my news app I have like a section that's like about football, and I'll scroll to it and it'll be like, here, I'll do it right now, and I'll see what we got. Bucks Antoine Winfield fined for mocking Tyreek Hill in Super Bowl loss. SNL has drunk Tom Brady joined last night's weekend update. 3 players who won't be on the Chiefs after Super Bowl loss. How the Buccaneers beat down the Chiefs film room. So this one's from
Tom
the
Brady
Kansas
kisses
City
his son
Star.
on the mouth.
I definitely think that probably I have never liked Tom Brady more than that video of him drunkenly stumbling around and talking about winning the trophy, because this guy is like a fucking machine. Like, he specifically like refuses to eat anything that's not part of his diet and all this shit. And just seeing him get wasted with his friends after winning this is like, okay,
yeah,
he is a
I gotta
human
say,
being. Like,
one of the things that's terrible about the past 2 decades of football has been Tom Brady and the Patriots and Bill Belichick, and like the entire public perception of them was that like Tom Brady's a robot, has no fucking personality, and like there are bad quarterbacks who are like so basically if Tom Brady lost a game, no Patriots fan could be happy. It didn't matter how good they played, because their players were like, we either win or nothing good happens, which is why a lot of Patriots fans probably had a very bad year this year, which I don't feel bad about. Go fuck yourself.
They had Cam Newton, who got COVID and then was still probably fairly sick with COVID, even though he was playing, like, or at least weakened from it, and did not have a great year. And their team kind of sucked.
But anyway, Tom Brady has had this like robot personality, and the Patriots have had this like they win no matter what kind of thing. And they also cheated quite a bit. It turns out the length of which you could say they cheated. They did something that they should not have done, whether or not it led them to win a game. Is the part that that the Patriots fan would like to debate with you, and a lot in the same way that like certain fans of certain basketball players would be like, "Hey, he was a rapist, and like he got acquitted," and it's like, But yeah, Kobe's dead now, so
Kobe, which is of course what you say. You say that before you fly your helicopter into a mountain.
Yeah. I always my favorite joke was just that Kobe has finally passed because he was a notorious ball hog in the NBA. So yeah, that's been my last few weeks basically, is like avoiding the Super Bowl. Like, so and this was the first Super Bowl since I started watching football that I didn't watch all the way to the end for 2 reasons. One, it was making me have high blood pressure, and I just needed to stop watching it. And 2, the commercials were fucking terrible. Like, there was, and I get it, you know, it's COVID. They can't do like all these cool ideas they might have, but they sucked really, really bad. The Weeknd did a halftime show, and I feel kind of bad for The Weeknd because I really like him as an artist, but like having to like basically do a halftime show where like your dancers have to have face masks, and you've got to find some way to incorporate that into the show. Your dancers have to stay more than 6 feet apart, and you have to incorporate that into your show. Like, there was a lot of limitations he was working with, and I think he did the best he could do given those limitations. Like, for example, the song "I Can't Feel My Face." Whenever he was performing that, he had doppelgangers of him, his dancers dressed up as him, basically, but with face gauze on to hide their face masks. And that's about as clever as you can get when you have to incorporate face masks into your halftime show. But at the same time, like, you could tell everything about the entire halftime show was done mostly because of COVID. And that kind of sucks. However, I think that he gave, you know, the maximum amount of good performance you could give in given the circumstances.
I did not watch the halftime show. I switched over to, I don't even know how to describe this, nor do I want to get into the whole details of my watching of video game Twitch streams that were going on during halftime. But so there's a website, a video gaming website called giantbomb.com. It's people that left GameSpot in like 2008. They do stuff. They had a person who used to be on their site who left to be a podcast producer for the WWE. His name is Dan Reichert. And he has started doing an insane thing on his channel that he's called Smashy Bet. Have you heard of Salty Bet?
Yep.
Okay, so it's like Salty Bet, except for that. Okay, Salty Bet, Spanky, I see shaking your head. So
Salty Bet is that's where you all like you and your friends all jerk off in a circle, and the last one has to eat the biscuit.
The cracker, yeah.
Yeah.
No, Salty Bet that's something else. That I forget the name of that game, but that's a really fun.
Soggy Biscuit.
Soggy Biscuit. Thank you. No,
or one might say Limp Biscuit.
Okay. Salty Bet is a website that plays. I forget the name of the emulator. Mugen. Thank you. It's like a Japanese fighting game.
I know what
engine.
Yeah, it's an engine with like infinite characters, like Ronald McDonald versus Peter Griffin versus Homer Simpson. Like like every possible like character you can think of. And Salty Bet will have like, here's what the match is going to be. And then you get like Salty Bet tokens and you can bet on who you think is going to win the match. And that is Salty Bet. So he is doing a thing called Smashy Bet where he just has a billion amiibos, obviously. And each amiibo, of course, can level up and save their own like profiles and whatnot. And he has the amiibos battle it out. And it is very WWE themed with all sorts of insane belts and championships that different characters have. So he did his... so if you remember back in the day, the WWE used to do like the halftime heat or whatever. And they would like have like a one match that would like be like filmed live during like the halftime of the Super Bowl and like dumb shit that they would do, for that in the day. And so he had his like own like halftime heat where he had a couple matches where it was a tag team championship match, which was who are the two people in Smash from Earthbound series?
Ness and Lucas.
Lucas and Ness.
Yeah, Ness and Lucas were one of the group, and then it was two of the Dragon Quest heroes. So there was the I forget the dang names they had from it was like the Hometown Heroes or something were like the two heroes from Dragon Quest, and then I think he called them the dumb idiots or something because he doesn't like the Earthbound characters the way they look. So he just calls them the dumb idiots. But it was an interesting tag match. But it's just AI and then them talking over it. It's actually really fun to like watch that and like him doing that. It's all this like presentation around, and I was like, this is way more fun than watching The Weeknd sing a pre-recorded lip sync to a pre-recorded song. I'm assuming. I mean,
it wasn't the lead vocal wasn't pre-recorded. Okay. However, the thing about The Weeknd's songs is that it's very like heavy on harmonizing with himself.
Mm-hmm.
So most of it is pre-recorded.
Like, I was about to say, like, it's not one of those things that translates to live super well, but like you appreciate his performance.
Well, the thing about The Weeknd is that like the whole MO of his concerts are very much about crowds and like showmanship, very like putting on concerts a la Michael Jackson, except for without the discomfort around it being Michael Jackson. And he couldn't do that. And that's why I'm like, he probably like, I'm glad he got to do a Super Bowl halftime show, but I really hope he gets to do another one, like in a not pandemic Super Bowl, because his music's great, and like having crowds involved and like having an actual proper show go along with it rather than just choreography and singing would be great.
Yeah.
Unlike Coldplay, which is enjoyable neither pre-recorded on an iPod or in person.
Yeah, Coldplay does suck.
I like one Coldplay song, and it's Adventure of a Lifetime, and I don't know that I like the song. I really just like that the monkeys dance in it and the music video, and they have a Beats pill. It's a fucking sponsored like product placement. Beats, like the monkeys find a Beats pill and then they start dancing.
Like, I feel like Coldplay was exactly something that like dumb college age John liked, and you don't want to be that person.
No.
So don't listen to Coldplay.
Or just listen to whatever you want. Nobody's
That's
going
also
to judge you.
To be fair, you're allowed to listen to whatever you want, but also if you're someone who's like, man, Coldplay is this incredible art. I mean, The Weeknd isn't really either. I mean, it's fun. It's pop. It's music.
No,
like he does a good job.
It's heavily produced pop stuff.
Yeah, like,
it's fun. It does the job it's supposed to do.
What I like about The Weeknd, there's two things I really like about The Weeknd.
I like Monday. I like Friday night the most about The Weeknd. I think because
you got to get down on Friday is the thing.
Mm-hmm. Remember Rebecca Black?
Yeah.
I want to have Rebecca Black do a halftime show. Rebecca Black should have been the 2020 halftime performer.
I mean, have you seen Rebecca Black's new version of Friday that she released with Big Freedia and like 12 other like huge artists?
I mean, she's good now.
Oh
right?
yeah, she's like a legit pop artist now. So
like the only thing I was gonna say about the Weeknd was that one, he's done work with Daft Punk, which is my favorite band.
Yeah.
And two, all of his music videos and a lot of his music is very like 80s synthwave. Like if you go like to YouTube and you just search like synthwave playlist, it's a lot of the same synthesizers and sounds that The Weeknd uses in a lot of his songs. And because I listen to the synthwave shit, I love that it's kind of just that.
My least favorite thing about The Weeknd though, Sunday night. It feels like it's over.
Thanks for bringing that back.
Yeah.
Junior Gamer wants to know which ones of us have TikTok downloaded on their phone. I do. Every time I open it, it makes me feel a million years old.
So it's 3 out of the 4 of us have TikTok?
Yeah, I don't use it, but I have it.
I do.
But I mean, like, I don't know if I count because I don't even have Twitter or Facebook or Instagram.
Well,
I don't have any.
I like getting TikToks that are from Reddit, so that it's like already gone through the 30-something filter.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I like to get a TikTok that has already been referenced or is already fun. Like, this is where
I also don't have Reddit on my phone.
Wow, good for you. Here's your medal.
Well, no, what I was going to say is that like the website, the mobile website for Reddit will tell you continue on the website. The experience is better in the app. And they aren't fucking lying about that. The mobile website is absolute dog shit.
It's trash.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I have a Twitter. I have I think the Reddit app as well. I don't know if I have the official one or a weird third-party Reddit app. But...
I had Alien Blue for a while, and then I went to. Then they got the official one.
The only apps that I have on my phone that could be considered social apps at all are
email.
I have the Twitch. I have the Twitch app.
Okay.
I have Battle.net, which I do use to like talk to people when they're playing WoW. Really, just John and my old roommate. But I've got that, and I have Discord.
Roommate.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Oh wow!
I mean, I unless you want to count email, in which case I have an email application on my phone. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Where's
but
the
it's oh no! I have Teams. I have Microsoft Teams on my phone because it's for work. But I have the notifications turned off when I'm not working.
What about Mastodon? Does that have an app?
It has several.
Are they open source?
Usually, I mean, there are some that are paid.
Can you tell me how to get a Mastodon account?
No.
We don't have an hour, John.
I still don't understand how to even use Mastodon. I remember I created.
I don't know how to use Twitter, so.
Well, you log on to Twitter.com and you type out tweets.
Yeah.
What do? I'm on Twitter.com right now. I don't get it.
No,
what do I click?
You have to take a bunch of Ambien, and then you go on to Twitter.
This is some fucking closed gate. I don't understand it.
Speaking, I don't understand the comparison you're trying to make here. On Mastodon, I don't even know what website I go to type anything in.
You go to GitHub and
go to like some weird Mastodon instance I signed up for a long time ago that I don't remember the name of.
Sure, or make a new account.
I make a new account. I don't want to make. I lose all of my old mastodons. What are they called? Toots? Farts? Toots?
Squirts.
No, it's because mastodons go toot. Because they're like elephants.
I'm sorry. Mastodon is just too decentralized for me.
Fair enough.
That's the problem I have with Mastodon.
I really don't even. I think it's funny because I really don't even use Mastodon. Like
I know other people that talk about Mastodon instances and stuff too, and I'm like, it's too open. It's like Linux. Like I understand it, I appreciate people that use it, but it's just too open for me. Like it doesn't have. I don't need that much freedom.
You don't have a convenient way to give Google your personal information. I understand.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm happy giving Google all of my information because they have
as a conservative, John is much more comfortable with like a strong authoritarian daddy figure to tell him what to do.
No. Google's like very anti-conservative. Duh, Matt. Come on.
Are
you kidding me? I don't like.
Tech is censoring John's speech.
Google has a thing in their company charter saying that they won't be evil.
Not anymore. They got rid of that.
They got rid of that.
I know. I was bringing it up. I just think it's funny that they like explicitly got rid of it.
To like shit, we have to be evil now. But that's against the rules. Oh well, we could change the rules.
Yeah, we'll just change the rules to evil. Being evil is okay if it makes us money.
Yeah.
The easiest, if anyone is actually curious, the easiest Mastodon account, like what instance to sign up for right now is mastodon.online.
So to me, Mastodon instances always sound kind of like Discord servers.
That's pretty much what they are.
Yeah. You're like, you can't think of it as like a whole thing. Like you can't think of Discord as like a whole social network.
Yeah, it's literally also exactly like Reddit.
Yeah.
Well, except for it isn't, because in Reddit you go onto reddit.com and you have a login. Whereas on Mastodon, I don't go to mastodon.com and log in.
Because they don't own mastodon.com.
Well, there isn't a central login.
You go to mastodon.co.uk.
I go to the instance that I created an account in, then I can log in.
So you have to make a bookmark to the instance your account is on.
It's like VBB boards or something like that.
Well, no, I mean, I just mean in practice. Like once you've climbed that fucking mountain of remembering the URL you made your account on, and you've walked through that desert of strife, and you've made it beyond that, then it works the same way.
Okay, but I like that. But can I sell some of my personal data to just get a little bit more convenience?
Yeah. That's what
I think.
That's the transaction I'm looking to make.
The answer is yes, because Gab, the free speech social media.
I'll be right back.
Gab
uses Mastodon now.
Well, it does use the software. However, I think something like 99.9% of all other Mastodon servers have blocked it and do not federate with it.
Got it.
So if you want a version of Mastodon, where you just go to the website and log in and it works, gab.com is your website.
So what you're telling me is that Mastodon is okay with their software being used by white supremacists. I get it.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
You fuckers made me so hungry I had to order pizza.
That's kind of the whole like gift and curse about open source, is that it's open source. Like the Nazis can use it.
Wow. So
you're pro-Nazi?
I missed part of this. What I've heard here first is that Mastodon is okay with having Nazis on their platform.
Very, yeah.
Yeah. So,
although not their platform, it's not their platform. It's their software.
Exactly. They shouldn't allow Nazis to use their software. That's what I'm saying.
Pro censorship John over here.
What they need to do is they need to have built into their code that to run it, you have to answer if you are a Nazi or that you think the white race is superior. Yes, no.
Oh, so it's like
Yeah,
it's like the "Are you above 18" on the pornography website?
Except
Exactly,
it's like the color grading thing from Family Guy. It's like, which one of these do you prefer?
No,
Yeah.
actually, I think what they should have is like, what is something like a white supremacist would hate to say? Like, you know what I mean? Like Moonlight is my favorite film. Barry Jenkins is my favorite director. Is the best director. Of all
I'd vote
time.
for Obama a third time if I could.
Something they would never like. Even like it would be so sickening for them to even like agree to use that and be like, we got to get a different software system.
I personally don't care what bathroom you use.
The thing about open source, though, is that they could just remove that from the source.
So you have to have that hard coded into the open source.
You
You're gonna have to start by making your own open source platform.
So deeply into every part of the application that removing it would be such a hassle that they wouldn't want to do that.
You have to make your own
I mean,
version
you
of
definitely
GitHub.
can.
That's what I'm saying.
Definitely can.
They need to have that like function trigger like every single call every other part of the application, so that you would never want to be able to remove it because it would just take way too much time. That's the thing. That's what a company that would not hate that would hate white supremacists would do. Right?
I don't think Mastodon's a company.
I think it is. Everything.
It's one guy named Eugen Rochko who does work
Mastodon.
No, I will say that corporations are people.
Yeah, that is true.
So he is the corporation. Can we?
Does that work? If all corporations are people, are all people corporations?
Okay, so I feel like we've been recording for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't talked about Spanky's kitten.
Yeah,
which is like actively happening, but maybe we'll just save that till next week.
Just one question: why did you not name her Snowball 2?
Because the real reason is because she's not a pitch black cat.
Okay. So you're racist.
One of my favorite things in Simpsons that I figured out just recently is that Snowball 1 also was a pitch black cat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because the joke was that Snowball 2 is just the same name, but a cat that obviously the name doesn't fit. Yeah. So the thing about my kitten is that Maik is well,
they've just been introduced today. Like this is the one of the
Maik spent a lot of the day on top of my refrigerator, which is literally as far away as you can get from the room where the kitten is locked in. Because he's a little bitch, and all cats really. I wouldn't say all. Most cats are little bitches when you introduce them to any other animal, especially other cats. Maik is that to the extreme. Tomorrow I'm going to make a veterinarian appointment for the kitten to hopefully figure out how old she is, because she's a rescue. And also while I'm there, I'm like, hey, can you give me some Prozac for my other cat?
A little something for Daddy.
Yeah, because he fucking needs it. Matt sent me here's the multi-cat diffuser for Feliway. I've had that plugged in for 3 days already.
Oh, for real?
To get my I've already had that plugged in for a few days just to get my kind of used to the pheromones that little diffuser thing gives off, and let it saturate in the house a bit. It I assume has had an effect because when the kitten's quiet and isn't meowing, so when she's asleep, Maik will come over and hang out with me on the couch. But if she wakes up or starts meowing, it's back on top of the fridge for him. But I named her May after the protagonist from Night in the Woods. After TJ May. I named her May after the protagonist from Night in the Woods to go with the fact that Maik is also named after a anthropomorphic cat from video games. So I don't know any other anthropomorphic cats that I would name something after. So video game developers, make video games with more anthropomorphic cats because I ran out.
Does it have to be a video game? Because there's that.
Yes.
There's that shitty 70s cartoon about the cat that likes to fuck and do drugs.
What? Talking about Fritz the cat?
Probably.
I think that's what you're talking about.
Remember the episode of Itchy and Scratchy
I was
where
going to say they referenced that in The Simpsons, in an episode of Itchy and Scratchy. That one that was adults only or whatever.
Yeah, the adults only Itchy and Scratchy.
Okay, so we'll have more updates about your cat next week. I think we have to talk about Korra if we're all caught up. Or are we not all caught up?
Are we all caught up?
Because I am.
I probably am.
Matt's not then.
We're on the new season, right?
No.
No? Which one are we on?
Yes, we are. Matt's talking about season 3.
Oh, no. We talked about season 3 already, didn't we?
We talked about the first 4 episodes of season 3.
Yeah. We're on the second 4 episodes.
I don't remember.
Okay, Matt, let me jog your memory and we'll see if we are in fact able to do this.
Episodes. Have I
watched these yesterday.
Oh, wait, this is the rebuilding the shit? Yeah, I've watched these. I watched these a while ago.
So yeah, I was about to say, I think if I remember correctly, based on some of the things you were saying, you had watched this. So this was the arriving at the metal city and the episodes after that. Basically all of the metal bending stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so do we have time? Or is it way too late in the episode?
We've been going about 2 hours.
Yeah, it's too late to talk about.
I do have a pizza sitting right next to me.
Falling asleep.
I want to end.
It is too late to talk about. So we'll talk about that next week. We'll make sure to pen that in. The episodes 5, 6,
we'll have Cheryl
7,
pen it into our schedules. Cheryl.
Yeah, Cheryl.
Carol. My name is Carol.
Whatever.
Oh, sorry, Carol. Please.
Remember that joke from Archer?
No,
never saw it.
I have never seen Archer.
Is that one like the TV show about the green guy that shoots arrows?
No, but it is the TV show where it was made in the first Obama term, and they named their spy organization ISIS.
Yeah.
And then ISIS in real life happened, so they just had to drop the name.
Yeah.
Oh, did they?
They just had like one scene where somebody was replacing the sign in the background or something.
That's kind of
yeah, that was it. Like they're like the word ISIS was never uttered again, and someone was just like rolling the old ISIS sign out of the frame, and that's it.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
All right.
Thank you for the follow, Crutch.
So I think we're done tonight, boys. Everyone get your own build your own cravings box. You can find me on John_Danger at twitter.com, the Hell website, or on the Crom Crush server. This is Tubby, the greatest foreign warrior of all time.
Tubby? Who are you calling Tubby? Oh.
Yeah, exactly. That's who I named him after.
You named him after the future face of our $20 bills. So, good job.
Harriet Tubby.
Tub man. Tub
Girl.
Tub girl. No, that's... Oh, man. What if we accidentally put her on the money?
Harriet Tub Girl, the matchup of the century.
The episode title, Harriet Tub Girl. I don't know if I can be honest.
I mean, we did a lot of right-wing parody talk, and we went to Newsmax on this episode. We shouldn't call it Harriet Tub Girl.
I don't know. Maybe we pivot to a new audience. Maybe this one will be more successful.
Guys, I can't have my neighbor listening to the podcast I'm on. It'll be too weird.
And you can find me at matthagmusic.com.
And I'm here too. Or something.
Ring light TJ May. Instagram influencer TJ May. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Don't watch Newsmax.